Just want to share with you guys the inside of a ultra analog AES-21 digital interface. This is basically found in ultra analog products, and it basically sends the digital signal to the DA converter in ultra analog based products. And I thought this one was bad. It wasn't. I was having dropouts in both channels, so I assumed since it was both channels it was probably upstream from the DA converters, but turns out it was both DA converters had about the same problem. So I fixed that, and but in the meantime I'd taken this apart, in an attempt to find something wrong with this, but there was nothing wrong with it. But I don't think there exist any pictures of this on the internet, so I thought I would share this, just in case any of you guys, supposedly on a forum, 50% of the people that had these, they were defective. So, if you guys know high failure parts in these, you'll know about where they're at now, and you won't have to dig through the whole shebang to get them, because it's kind of a pain to get to the parts. This is the top side, and to give you a better perspective of where the parts are. One side of this converter has like 9 pins, and the other side has 10. So, this was top of mine. The writing was up top here on mine. I don't know what I did with that, but to access these, and let me show you the bottom. I'll try to get a pretty good still pic of this right here. Okay, now let me go to the bottom. I'll try to turn it over the same way so you can get a better perspective. Okay, so here's the bottom. Yeah, and I did put a through-hole tantalum cap in there. I was just out of surface mount tantalums, but it wasn't really technically bad. It was just measuring a little higher ESR than I would like, so I put a new one. It's always a good idea to replace tantalums anyway, because they're kind of a high failure part in a lot of devices, especially something that runs hot as something like this. So, a little bit of preventative maintenance there. But basically, in case any of you guys don't know how to get inside these, basically what I did, I used my reflow station, and I cut it on about 750 Fahrenheit, not sure what that is Celsius, and I used a fine tip kind of about like this. I heated over a certain spot, maybe about like that, real small spot, for about 30 seconds, 45 seconds, something like that. Then you put your nozzle up right quick. Then I use an X-Acto knife and just kind of chip away a little bit at a time. It becomes kind of a rubbery yet brittle product, when it's heated. But you got to work kind of fast, because I don't know, maybe in 30 seconds, something to that effect. Once it cools off, it'll be rock hard like epoxy again. So just kind of work it, but don't use a whole lot of pressure, because obviously you wouldn't want to use a lot of pressure and shatter any of these surface mount chips, or capacitors or something like that. Probably resistors, capacitors is what would shatter the easiest, so you definitely don't want to do that. Just kind of chip out a little bit at a time. Just kind of do it kind of fast, but just don't go very deep. And once you get to where the components are, then just work a little bit slower, be meticulous around those. And so that's basically what you do on the epoxy. Now the top side on these is a lot more challenging, because you have in addition to the epoxy that's over the components, you also have a thick piece of plastic. The way I dealt with that was basically with a really, this is done broke now, but it was really sharp. A brand new blade, basically, back and forth, multiple times. You don't have to worry about it cutting components, because the layer up under the plastic is epoxy. So, like I say, no worries there on really damaging anything when you're doing that. And once you get to where you can actually see, a little gap or something, after you made multiple cuts on each side, then you can kind of work your blade up under there. May have been how I chipped it, I don't know. But just work your blade under there, and then just kind of cut around like this, being real careful to, to cut on the edge. and then that'll get you down to where you can get to the epoxy and, you know, do just what I showed on the rest of it. So anyway, like I said, this one didn't have a problem, but I just thought I would share this with you guys since I don't think there's any pictures of this on the internet. And, you know, so hope it'll help somebody out. And hope y'all have a good one.